I am super excited to let you know that Ghost and Tell officially released yesterday/today. It is always so tricky because I'm in Australia, and when I put stuff on pre-order on the retailer sites, it all depends on where that store is and their time zone as to when it goes live. So it went live in America on the 22nd of April, which was very late 22nd of April, Australian time. I know, it's crazy. It's just one of those things. You get used to it. Hang on one sec, I'll grab the book. I've had this sitting here in the background of a few of my videos now, but I've got a new camera and I'm still learning how to use it. And it was doing this weird focusing thing, whereas it focused on my face, then the background, then my face, then the background. I have fixed it. I found a setting. So hopefully it's just focusing on me now. So then you probably can't see the book very clearly. So for the first time ever, I actually released the paperback and the ebook at the same time. Now the paperback, the company that I use, it's called Ingram Spark. So I don't print my books directly through Amazon. So it takes a little while for Ingram Spark to release the book out to all, like the bookstores and the online stores and all of that stuff. So it might be a few days. So I did happen to notice that there was one listed on Amazon yesterday, literally the second it released, and it was like $51. That is not from me. That's probably not even a real listing, because you know on Amazon you can have different sellers. So someone else can buy this book and then resell it on Amazon, and it's not coming from me. Don't worry, I am not getting ripped off of any royalties, because they literally have to buy the book first and they're not getting it at wholesale. They have to pay retail price and then they're reselling it. So again, I'm going off on a tangent already. If you see specifically on Amazon, my paperback books priced exorbitantly high, that is why, because I do not actually use Amazon to print my books. Okay, so my best recommendation there is if you're in the UK or the USA, I sell print copies of my books directly through my Shopify store. So that's janehincheystore.com. Australia, still coming. I haven't set it up yet. I had some teething issues. I would prefer to go direct with Ingram Spark if I can, rather than using my other print-on-demand provider, which is Bookvault over in the US and the UK. We'll see how that pans out. I'm still like getting it sorted because I want it to be a seamless thing. Let me pop this back. And check my notes. So this book took me longer than usual to write, because the last book, book 9 in the series, I released in 2023. It's now April 2025. I didn't start writing this book. And someone in my readers group is probably going to have to remind me of when I started writing this book, possibly in December. And it was like on again, off again, stopping and starting and stopping and starting. Ordinarily, back in the day, I could write a book in 4 to 6 weeks. Like, I was very, what's the word I'm looking for? Dedicated to sitting down and getting my writing done. Now, it's not that I'm not dedicated, it's that I'm distracted with so many other things to do. My author business and career is growing. I'm a one-woman show. There is no one else. For a while, I had different contractors in helping me, but at the moment, aside from my ARC manager, I don't have anyone else. That will be changing in the future, because it gets to a point where it's not sustainable to do everything yourself. But at the moment, it's just me. So it's me shooting these videos, it's me editing them, and if I mess it up, that's all me. If there's ever a mistake anywhere, it's me. If there's a problem with my Shopify store and you write to customer service, guess who's on the other end of that email? Me. Shocker. So, friendly reminder, don't be rude. I'm doing the best I can. I am trying to bring everything I possibly can to my readers. Anyway, so how long did this book take to write? Probably a couple of months. Like, I finished it in February. I wasn't really timing it. I guess I could go back and look at date stamps on my Word document or something. But yeah, it took me a little while. And then it took a few weeks for it to be edited and then for me to go through those edits and stuff. But then also I was away for a big chunk of time in March. So we were away overseas. So I didn't want to release the book while I was traveling, obviously. And then when I got home, I had such severe jet lag. It lasted about 2 weeks. Oh, it was the worst jet lag I have ever had. Anyway, so yeah, it took me a while. Another thing I wanted to talk about, like I've got some dot points I jotted down to keep things interesting. So please forgive me if I keep referring to my notes, because menopause brain fog, this is why I go off on different tangents as well, because I totally forget what I'm talking about and then we're off talking about something else, like for now, menopause. So I want to talk about how it feels to write book 10 in this series. It's a real surreal feeling because it's the longest series I've ever written, and it's going to finish at book 12. So now it's that feeling that there's only 2 more books to go. So it's on one hand bittersweet, but on the other hand, it's exciting. I know what's going to happen in the next 2 books. I've already started writing book 11. Granted, I haven't done much, but I've started. So I'm really excited for it, and I have some plans, big plans of different books and different stories I want to write after we've finished with the Ghost Detective series. I don't like to give dates on when these books will be finished and when I'll be publishing them, the Ghost Detective books, because stuff happens. Like I hardly wrote it all last year because my mum died, and that totally derailed me. It was not unexpected. She was 94 years old, like, you know, it wasn't a surprise, put it that way. And yet losing her was devastating. Oh, I'm feeling all emotional just talking about it. So yeah, I couldn't write. Like it was, yeah, I lost a year, I feel. So at the end of last year, I did release a Christmas novella that was not related to any of my series whatsoever. It was almost like a palate cleanser. I just needed, because I was worried I was going to forget how to write. And it was like, let me jump into this and just write something for fun. And a quick Christmas novella, it was it. So I'm hoping to do that again this year. So we're going to write 2 more Ghost Detective books. We're going to write a Christmas novella, and then 2026, we've got fun new things coming. So this vlog we're talking about launching, releasing a book, etc. So I want to just continue on in that vein and talk about how the launch of Ghost and Tell felt different to previous launches, all of that. I wish I could say it felt easier. Wouldn't that be nice? I just felt like I didn't do as much this time. Like previous launches, I've done so many marketing activities, but this time I didn't. I just didn't have the energy for it. I had the intention, but just not the energy. And so I sort of just did what I could and didn't stress on the rest. Like it was like, what will be, will be. It is what it is, basically. So you'll see from one of the reels that I did, I send out my own newsletter. I run some Facebook ads. I do have a blog tour happening, and I've got a couple of promotions like new release newsletter stuff going out, and Facebook ads. And that is it. So what haven't I done this time? Haven't done newsletter swaps like with other authors, because what that entails, if you're not aware, is where I will share with an author friend, like say, hey, can you feature Ghost and Tell in your newsletter? Like send it out to your readers and let them know that it's a new release and it's now available. And then in return, I will share one of their books to my newsletter. Not necessarily today, but like in the next few weeks, or I'll owe you one the next time you have a release, I'll share it with my newsletter. That used to be a strategy that I did every single launch. But again, this time, I didn't have the energy or the time because I was away for most of March and I didn't set it all up in advance. It is very early for our early morning walk. But yeah, couldn't sleep. So here we are. Just, I don't know, it's about 6:15 in the morning, and I think sunrise is around 6:30. So, you know, not that early. Anyway, I wanted to talk about book launch stuff and how this one potentially felt different to previous ones, all that sort of stuff. This time I felt like really calm. It was not the usual. Sometimes there can be panic because you've forgotten to do something. Sometimes just like nerves. You're really nervous about it. Maybe your book is a new series or something that you've never done before, and so you're nervous about how it's going to be perceived. But I think I had a bit of a safety net because it's the 10th book in my Ghost Detective series. So I already know that readers have been waiting for it and are looking forward to it. I do get a bit more nervous when I send it out to my ARC team, which is my advanced reader team. So they get it a few weeks before it goes live. They help me. I hope my face isn't too dark because I look in the viewfinder and I look like I'm just a shadow. Anyway, yeah, it's pretty dark around this side of the lake. Can I do this way? Here we go. Let's do it this way. That better? Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so they help me catch any typos and like obviously plot holes, stuff like that. They give me feedback if necessary, but it's not really for feedback purposes because they are not beta readers. They are reviewers. So the idea is that they read, and then when the book goes live, they leave their review, which is great, and they do. I curated this team myself over the years, so there's about 100 people, give or take, on my team. I curated them through my newsletter list, like every now and then. I haven't done it in ages, actually. I open up my team for new members. This can be a great way for some readers who maybe can't afford to buy books to, read books and still get that enjoyment. And it's a little community. I love my ARC readers, I really do. They haven't had a lot of work of late. So yeah, but this time around, I think there was that safety net of it's already a popular series. It's book 10. Everyone has been waiting for ages for it. So yeah, it hit really well. And so then I was surprised when it did release because I am wide. Wide is when you are on more than one retailer, and that one retailer, if you're not wide, is usually Amazon. And normally those authors who are only with Amazon, their books are in a program called Kindle Unlimited. I am not. I did when I first started, had all my books in Kindle Unlimited, but now I have them on Kobo and Apple and Barnes and Noble, Google, all sorts of places, libraries, all of that. The ebooks, they're everywhere. So yeah, that's what you call wide. And so I've been wide for about probably 3 years now, I suppose. And one thing about new releases, when you're not exclusive to Amazon, try not to talk too loud now because we're right next to some houses, really close. One thing is, sorry, hang on, I'll put you in front of me. With Amazon is when you're wide, you tend not to earn any of the bestseller badges when you release a new book. It's harder. Like prior to going wide, when I was in Kindle Unlimited, every single book I released, pretty much almost every time, got a bestseller badge. But going wide, it didn't happen. And that got a little bit depressing at times, but it's just a vanity measure. It's, you know, it's not saying that your book's no good. So anyway, oh, my shoulder's aching. Oh, this tiny camera is not that heavy, but my shoulder's aching. So yeah, this time with Ghost and Tell, to get a bestseller tag on day one of release really surprised me. That's probably a first. It was a pleasant surprise. And I think I need to go back and check now, because I think I got the first bestseller tag in Ghost Mystery, and now it's got a bestseller tag in Ghost Romance, or something like that, I think. I need to do another screenshot and double check. But it's just ranking really well in its categories. So this is not like number one in the entire Amazon store. I mean, that would be great, but it's just not. It's in its category. So number one, hot new releases in Ghost Mysteries. So, you know, it's a vanity thing, but it just goes to show that it's going well. Another thing I kind of wanted to touch on, and let's see if I can swap hands for a bit. There we go. Is imposter syndrome. We all get it. I still get it. I still compare myself to big authors. Like, I want to be them. And then I feel that I'm lacking in every single area. But I'm really not. It's, you know, it's hard work, which I do. It's talent and skill, which I have. And that's not to say I'm big noting myself with that. Like, I know I can tell a good story. I've worked on my craft. I'm always trying to improve. Taking courses. The more you write, the better you get at it. And it's also for anyone who is wanting to publish but hasn't yet, and they've got maybe a book or 10 sitting on their hard drive, but are, you know, scared. I understand. I'll tell you a story in a minute. But, you know, it's sitting there not earning you any money, and you're worried probably that it's not any good and no one's going to like it. But you won't know until you publish it. So you can have people read it in advance, you can have your beta readers and all that stuff. But until you get it out there just in the general public, let them find it, let them read it, get some real reviews in there that aren't connected to your book in any way, so the people are utter strangers. You don't know, because you need to know if you've got a viable product. So it's no use then stockpiling books on your hard drive if they're no good. It's like, that's how you learn and improve, is by putting the book out there, publishing it, reading your reviews and stuff, and take it from there one step at a time. So my funny story, when I published my very first book, which was First Blade, if you want to go look it up, it's still there. It's a paranormal romance. When I had the whole fear thing as well. Didn't hit publish for a year, if not longer. Didn't even know I was going to self-publish. I'd written it and that's it. Like, didn't do anything else. And sun is slowly rising. Let me flip you around for a second. So when it came down to publishing it, the day I hit the publish button, I then went to bed for 2 days. I felt sick. It was such an emotional journey. I think I sold about 5 copies. So yeah, one thing about publishing, especially with Amazon or with any of the retailers, is if you have a pre-order, you can control the date and time that it goes live. Like, it's with Amazon, it is just after midnight on whatever date in their particular time zone, which I can't remember off the top of my head. So you know, and it gives you that link that you can use to market your book prior to it going live. So that's a handy thing to have. We're back around to the feeding station. And I go, oh no, don't follow her, she doesn't have food. But when you don't have a pre-order and you just go live by clicking the button, it can take up to 72 hours. So, learning curve, I had no idea of any of this when I first started. So, I clicked publish, and then the message pops up on the screen to say, oh, this can, take up to 72 hours to go through the whole publishing and approval process, etc., etc. And I just about had a meltdown. It was awful. I was just such a bag of nerves. Went to bed. Just couldn't cope with it all. It was very, very overwhelming. And I have, years ago now, got on a call with a friend who needed to hit publish and couldn't. She was stuck. And I happened to be publishing a book on the same day. So I said, let's do it together. We'll get on the phone, we'll go through, we'll make sure we've got all our metadata and everything's all, schmacko. And then we hit publish together. So I like to think that day I helped someone else over the line, because I know how hard it is. But getting back to imposter syndrome, I do get it. Even doing this stuff, it's like, who do I think I am? Some 57-year-old author influencer. Like, get real. And that's not what I'm doing this for. I'm doing this more for me. I'm going through this real life change, and probably menopause related, who knows? Or just, midlife, not menopause, but just life related. And I'm feeling this urge to share. Is that when you become an elder and you share your knowledge? So I'm feeling this urge to share. I've actually done 2 laps of the lake today. Normally it's only a quick one, 10-minute one, but when I got here it was so dark. Here comes the sunrise. When I got here it was so dark, and I had things I wanted to chat about, and it's easy to just set this up at home in my office or wherever and talk away to the camera, but then I think that might get boring for you. So here we are. The only trouble with doing it like this is I'm holding the camera out, like my arms out at an angle, and my shoulders are aching just here. So we keep swapping arms to alleviate that. So that brings us to, what does success even look like? We're all different. We're all individual. What does success look like for me? It's a combination of things. I think when I really felt like I'd made it as an author, that I was successful, was when I started making 5-figure months. So consistently, that to me was success, because that meant I was financially supporting myself, financially supporting my business, and it's gone on in leaps and bounds. And to me, to be more successful would be more income. For you, it might be, hitting a bestseller list, not just Amazon, but USA Today, New York Times, and don't get me wrong, I have attempted those things. Little aside, like the USA Today bestseller list, sorry, there's a plane going overhead. The USA Today bestseller list, it used to be different how it was calculated, like how the books you had to sell, etc., to get onto the list were curated. And then the lady who was running all that for like 20 odd years was made redundant, and the list went away. There was no USA Today list for a while, and then it came back and it was all set up differently, and now I believe it is calculated on print sales rather than ebook sales. So yes, it's I don't sell that many print books to hit the USA Today bestseller list, but something that is on my agenda for future years is the New York Times. Is something that, you know, is on my wish list, my dream board, if you like. Just sitting out here, just fired up the fire pit. Hence, this is why I'm looking like a cancer patient with my beanie on, because I've braided my hair under here, because I don't like to get all the smoke in my hair. So it's a really nice evening. It's nice and calm. I have a few bits and pieces, mum's old paperwork I need to get rid of, so makes good fire starters. So yeah, the beanie is to keep the smoke out my hair. I actually, part of my journey of intentional living and all of this stuff is looking after my health, and I went to the GP today, the doctor, just to organise to have my bloods done. So I do my bloods yearly, just a general panel to see how everything's travelling. And I also had my flu jab, and I have to say I'm feeling it. I've got a headache, I'm tired, and my arm hurts. It's like such a baby. And I'll go back next week because I want to get my COVID booster, but they don't do that through the doctor's surgery. I have to go to the pharmacy or the chemist to organise that. So yeah, that's just some stuff I've got going on. But yeah, what success means to all of us, I think, is a different thing. It could just be a 5-star review. It could be just getting something out there into the world, like, hurrah, success, I'm finally published. It also means freedom. Freedom, you know, if you're chained to a day job, no longer having to go to that day job. That was never my case. I was made redundant, so I did not have a day job to get back to. That was frightening. And then, so it's the freedom to travel whenever I want, because I can take my career with me anywhere around the world, provided I have a Wi-Fi signal. It's freedom to plan my day any way I want to. So I can get up in the morning when I want, I can sleep in, I can stay up as late as I want, basically do what I want. And it's taken me a while to get used to this. I remember when I first got made redundant, like that was 10 years ago, I've been doing this now. And I was having trouble finding work, and then switched over to this author stuff, and I was not a raging success right out of the gate, was not making enough money to live off of. And but I kept going, I kept trying, and eventually we got there. But I remember feeling like I could not get rid of my work clothes in my wardrobe. So like, you know, the black pants and blazer and stuff that you wear to your office job. I still had those hanging in my wardrobe. But each time I'd look at them, it'd be like, I don't want to wear it ever again. But I couldn't get rid of it either, just in case. Like, I felt like I needed that safety net. It's freedom to help my kids out if they need, you know, a little loan from the bank of mum. There's just so many different things that I think this career has given me that I'm so, so grateful for. Nights like this, where I get to sit out here with my fire pit and my beverage. This is a pear cider. Yum. Yum, yum, yum. I have to admit though, like, I like alcohol. Alcohol always gives me a headache. But since I've got a headache already, probably shouldn't be mixing it just after having a flu jab, should I?
So what does success mean for you? Let me know in the comments.
And one other thing that I was just thinking as I'm poking this fire with a stick and sweating because it's getting hot is what success means to me, and that is growth. Like, I am growing my author career. And interestingly, I had a conversation with my accountant today, and she was saying, look, you know, your business is growing, everything is getting more complicated. Like, I've got my direct store now, there's multiple currencies, all of that stuff. And she said, you know, it's taking her so much longer to do my taxes every year that I really need to look into expanding my team to save myself money. And what she meant was hiring a bookkeeper. So that step in between me and the accountant is a bookkeeper to stay on top of everything on the day-to-day, do my best, all of that stuff. So then at the end of the financial year, when it comes to handing it all over to my accountant, it's all done. It's not my forte. It's not something that I am good at. I'm happy to outsource it, and it's quite exciting to know that I am growing a team behind me, like financial members of my team who are going to help me grow my business. That to me is success.
So I just bought a new toy for the camera. You are now standing on a tripod and you're up actually a little bit higher, and it's giving me this wide angle type view of the room. I'm not sure how I feel about it. Let's just move you, because literally I'm not going to film from this direction anyway. Something I wanted to talk about today, since we're talking about, let's pop you there. Okay. We were talking about launching and release week and all of that sort of stuff. And because of the way I'm feeling today, I thought it was a really good opportunity to talk about when you first launch, you can have this feeling of euphoria. It's fantastic, it's exciting, and yay. But then a few days later, you also have, or can have, what's called the crash, which I think is what I'm experiencing today. I just feel so flat, so meh, whatever. And it's really like, what's wrong with me? Also, I have to say, to be fair, I did have my flu jab yesterday. And that always just, besides having the very sore arm and a raging headache, it can make me feel just a little bit ordinary for a couple of days. I don't feel sick or anything like that. So I think it's probably a combination of those two things. Because as far as I'm concerned, my release of Ghost and Tell went really well. I got some bestseller badges. Like, again, to me, the bestseller badge on Amazon is a vanity measure, but also it does help with the algorithms. So it helps my books get more visibility. So I don't take it lightly, but it's not something that I particularly strive for. I discussed in another little snippet here that what I consider to be success is how many sales I've made. It's much more financial, because I look at this whole thing as a business. It's my author career. It has to sustain me for hopefully the rest of my life. So I'm more interested in, rather than being the #1 bestseller, it is having the money in the bank, so to speak. So I don't want to be crass about it, but I also need to be truthful about it. I touched on earlier the difference between launching wide and launching within Kindle Unlimited. So Kindle Unlimited is just when you are absolutely exclusive to Amazon only, and it's against their terms of service if you release that book anywhere else. You cannot put it anywhere, not in libraries, nowhere. It has to be exclusive. Whereas wide means you are not in that program with Amazon. You can publish your book on Amazon as well, but you're just not in the Kindle Unlimited program. And so that means you can put it on Apple, on Google, on Kobo, Barnes & Noble. You can have it in libraries. You can sell it direct. You can do whatever you want with it, within reason, obviously. So pros and cons to both. And I think as a newbie author and starting out, it does make sense to go into Kindle Unlimited with your book. So Kindle Unlimited, if you've never heard of it before, it is basically a reading subscription platform. So readers subscribe on Amazon. They pay a certain amount each month. And now I've never been in Kindle Unlimited, so I might have some of the finer details wrong. But they can have, I believe, they can like borrow books. So it's up to 10 books a month. Don't quote me on that. And then how the authors get paid is they voluntarily put their books into that pool of books that can be borrowed. And then when someone borrows that book, once they read it or start reading it, the author gets paid a certain amount depending on how many pages of that book have been read. And that rate that they get goes up and down over the months throughout the year. And there's like the big pot of funds and it gets divvied up. Some authors, like if their book is doing really, really well and they've had lots of what we call page reads, they can get actual bonuses from Amazon for that. So then if you're wide, you cannot put your book in Kindle Unlimited. You can't put it in that program because it has to be exclusive. So starting out, it's a really good way to get eyeballs on your books when you've got no audience, when no one's ever heard of you before. So you pop it into Kindle Unlimited. It's easier, I think, as a newbie just to learn and manage the one platform, the one publisher. So you've worked all that out, you've got it up, you put it in Kindle Unlimited because the readership is much more likely to try, like give your book a go when it's in Kindle Unlimited because for them it is a lower risk. So they're going to borrow your book, they might start reading it and love it and read it to the end, so you'll get a certain amount of money for that. Or they might read part of it and think, oh, that's not for me, but they feel like they haven't wasted their money. They haven't gone out and bought the ebook for $4.99 or $5.99 or whatever and then not liked it. So that's the sort of differentiation between the two. And so obviously, or not obviously, but I did start out in Kindle Unlimited because again, it was just easy as a newbie author. But then the flip side of that is that you are exclusive and you're putting all your eggs in one basket. And once I sort of started to get some traction in my career and I was building up a readership, I had a reasonable number of books in my backlist, it made sense for me to then start to slowly pivot and go wide. And I did that, I probably did it over an 18-month period where I just slowly would take one series out of Kindle Unlimited and put it wide. So it's not all my books, it's not all in, all out. It was all of one series would be in or all of one series would be out. But then it was just slowly over time telling my readers, hey, it's now available everywhere. You can buy your copy. A lot of readers who do read in Kindle Unlimited will also go on to purchase the book if they loved it so that they've always got a copy. Because in Kindle Unlimited, you have to give that copy back. You're borrowing it. So it's not yours forever and ever. I think it is important as an author to celebrate your wins, celebrate your successes. And FYI, I'm really bad at it. But I think, you know, when you publish a book, it's a big deal. It's amazing that you've published a book. So why aren't we celebrating it? And a celebration could be anything. You can go out to dinner. You can have a box of chocolates, a bar of chocolate. You can have a glass of wine. You can have the whole bottle of wine. You can crack open the champagne. You can have a party. You can do whatever you want to do. What I've started to do is to actually just reward myself on a little shopping spree. And I might buy myself something nice. So for the release of Ghost and Tell, I bought myself a new perfume. It's not here yet, I'm still waiting for it to arrive, and it was an expensive bottle of perfume, something that I wouldn't ordinarily buy for myself. But it was like, this book's done well. Like, I haven't released anything in a while, and so releasing this has been really special, and let's just mark the occasion. So now each time I spritz myself with that perfume, it's like, yes, this is a reminder that I'm celebrating the success of releasing a new book into the world, because it's a big deal. Writing a book is a big deal. Getting those words out of your head, down onto the page, and then actually polishing it up and pushing it out into the world, it's a big deal. And I know a lot of people say, oh yeah, I want to write a book. But when it comes down to it, not all of us actually write the book. So we are wrapping up release week for Ghost and Tell. As per usual, bit of a roller coaster of emotions. It's been a really great week. It's been really exciting launch. Most of the work happened beforehand in all the prepping, getting my ads ready, getting the newsletters sent out, obviously making sure the book was all formatted and uploaded and all of that. So the lion's share of the work happens before you actually release it. And then on release day or publication day is when the nerves hit. And it's that, will they like it? Won't they like it? You know, how is it going to be received? And that's one of the good reasons to have an ARC team, an advanced reader team, is that can help negate some of those nerves and to reiterate to yourself that you have told a good story and it is a good book, it's fine. And one of the things one of my ARC members has said, not only in her review, but to me personally, is that she wrote me and said that this was the best book yet. And as an author, that is such a lovely thing to hear. Aside from the usual, I love this book, it's a great story. I love hearing that as well. Of course, who wouldn't? But having someone reach out, especially as this is the 42nd book I've written, it's the 10th in this series, and to write and tell me it's the best one yet, just means the world to me. It's one of the reasons why I keep doing what I do. And, you know, it encourages me to keep going. At the times when you think it's too hard, at the times when you think that you don't want to do it anymore or you're just tired, it's words like that that keep us going. So I do encourage you, if you have read a book that you've really enjoyed, is to let the author know, because you don't know what's going on behind the scenes, if they're close to calling it quits. You know, your words are what keeps them going. I've been waiting. Sorry, behind the camera is the cat tree and Max has been going crazy and I was expecting any minute to have this flying cat come through, but now he's over at the door scratching to be let out. Because if you don't know me and my world, as soon as I shut a door in this house and start recording a video, the cats think that they're either trapped in the room with me and can't get out and the scratching ensues, or they're locked out of the room and need to get in desperately because clearly I'm doing something without them. And our Max has actually got the zoomies on, otherwise I would pick him up and bring him on camera. And Morgan is very nicely just sleeping on the end of the bed. I've actually got a new setup and the camera's currently sitting on a tripod, so I'm not going to pick you up and move you around to chase the cats. Plus my bedroom is, as per usual, a mess. So, I don't know if you can hear that. Max, come here, buddy. Max. Maxie. Why can't I whistle? Come here. Come here. Come and say hello. Morgan. See, when you don't want them to come on camera, they're here all the time. The second you do want them to come on camera, it's like, oh no, I don't think so, I'm just way too busy. So this has been my life during launch week. I hope you've enjoyed watching it, and if you did, please don't forget to subscribe.